So looks like we're finally on with this little music at the background. Me and Kieran Purnell commentating today with the new admin actually. The debut drivers race on PlayStation this time. We are reading up pretty soon and I think we can go for it even now. We've got 13 drivers on the grid today for now, and as said, Mr. Trix, he will be later at the race, so probably during the qualifying, and I think it's time to finally ready up. Let me just check the screen. There might be sound of myself, or maybe not anymore. I will have the chat open for you, by the way, but this time we are going. We've got a pretty fun race on the PC platform, so hope there will be the same action during the Spa-Francorchamps race and Silverstone. Drivers are already readying up, and we are moving to the intro, what you haven't seen on the PC race. Well, we are officially on the track of Spa-Francorchamps with 30 drivers on the grid as told, on the longest track of this entire F1 calendar. Not in the history, because for example we had Nürburgring Nordschleife, but for this season we have the longest track, both in real F1 and ERO, and it's the Spa-Francorchamps, the Belgian Grand Prix. With already first drivers going out of the garage, but I must just slightly turn down the sound of the game. There you go. And it should be fine by now.
Whoa, big moment there already for Jet on his outlap coming off Eau Rouge and Radion there. Could have had him in the wall already and it would have only been a minute and 10 seconds into the session. That would have been quite funny. But looking like most of the drivers are trying to get on track now. And finally getting to see this Aston Martin in video game form. What do you think about it?
Well, am I the only one that is not hyped about this car livery?
I think it would have looked better in lime green, but I still like it. You know,
well,
I think it
looks good. Yeah, that's true. It looks like the real Aston Martin, but with these pink details. Like, no.
I don't know. I think the green would have been better, but I don't hate the pink. I think if they'd gone lime green for the body and then pink, that'd have looked pretty good. But obviously they didn't know it was going to be pink until quite late, so they kind of just slapped it on there. Maybe it will look better in future seasons, but it's still a good-looking car, especially from TCAM, as Jet's about to come through the bus stop and start his first lap here.
And he's the first man to start the qualifying session here in Spa-Francorchamps.
And he's on the run down to turn one now, braking at 100 meters, but missing the apex by a lot there, having to put a lot of lock in second gear there to try and get the car turned He's now going to run up to Eau Rouge and Radion, probably one of the most famous corners in F1 history, if not the most famous. Pretty good up there, maybe a small lift on entry, and now opening the DRS all the way down this long straight as we already have a retirement. It's JML, however you say that, Kogusic.
We call
Kogusic?
that Wojciech. His real name is Alex
Probably.
Kurowski, and he's out of the qualifying already. But where can I find him? Oh, that's a heavy crash into Yorush or Radion, actually.
Yeah, that would have been the guess. Yeah, but back to Jet's lap then. Obviously, there's not too much point in holding on to that crash. About to come into Purnell here. Let's see a full lift there, and he's still run wide off the track, but somehow managed to keep his lap valid by the looks of things. So he obviously yielded enough time for the game to not care so much. Fifth gear through the right-hander there. Very interesting choice. Of course, last year's game, fourth gear was the best to take before coming down into fourth for the right-hander here. Again, last season we would have taken third, some people fourth, depending on setup. But, I think third was more popular. Now, it's a long run down here and on the run up to the flat out Blanchimont and then finding the bus stop chicane. A long lap here, the longest on the calendar, as Routinho said, the longest allowed under the current regulations, as he breaks it 100 metres, coming in second gear, just clipping the apex, so turning it left again for the final run down the straight. You're choosing not to short shift there, so keeping it in second. It's going to be a 1:43.3 as our first lap here. But as I was saying, the longest lap available under the current regulations, and honestly, as regen goes faster by a whole 7/10 there, I don't think we'd want too many longer tracks. I think this kind of lap time for Formula One is about right. Obviously, it's quite long, quite difficult to hook a whole lap up, and so I feel like making it too much longer would make for a boring race of only like 40 or less laps.
Let's also mention that we don't know the weather of this race yet. We only know about the qualifying.
Yeah,
It's cloudy.
it's looking cloudy, so maybe something coming up as Mark there just making a small mistake, missing the apex for the first part of the bus stop, really having to get that car turned back, and it's only going to be sixth place from there with a 44.0. So whole field covered by just under 2 seconds there, 1.8 seconds currently separating Gui and Sweet Blues as UDL Crankyorg is coming to complete his lap. He's going to go P7 there with a 44.1, and Braslium is currently coming towards the end of the first sector. Actually, he's just started the second sector there, so he has a long way to go before completing his lap in that Haas. Just seeing the lines he's taken here, very tight into that fairly infamous cambered hairpin there. I think most people hate that corner for the understeer you get through there, and of course this game is more understeery than ever as we have more yellows, and quite a strange place there actually for Master Game, who's got back running, so obviously not too bad there as everyone's obviously coming back into the pits to get ready for their second runs.
Yep,
And
currently, the fastest lap belongs to Guirot with 1:42.4.
Yep, so good lap there from him to start us off here. I'm expecting to see cars coming out of the pits shortly again to start their second runs, but just looking to see who it's going to be, as both Vapor Shadow and Tootie Boy have not set laps. Neither will Crash Liam, as he actually enters the pit, so he's not happy with that lap. You can see why, as it's almost 2 minutes long as he gets towards the line, so something's gone very wrong for him there on that lap. And it looks like Crank will be the first person to set second lap here. Driver currently in 8th place in his Alfa Romeo. Very nice looking Alfa Romeo from the T-Cam. That's actually really nice, as he actually comes into the pits, so don't know what's up with that. Maybe he ran out of fuel. Yeah, I think he did. So he's obviously on an in lap, not an out lap, and he's running very low fuel. It'll actually be Tutty Boy who will be the first on another outlap. In fact, it's Sweet Blues, who's already on another flyer. Completely missed that one. Now coming towards Blanchimont already, low on
He's
fuel.
running, yep.
Yeah, so he's going to be coming into the pits
And the
now.
problem is, the low fuel mode is on the hard mode.
That just makes it the same as last year. The other low fuel mode basically makes no difference. It just tells you you're on low fuel. A few more cars coming out the pits now. We've got Regen, Kappa, and Master Game all on outlaps now. Obviously following Tutty Boy, who is just coming up to start a new lap, as we've had a spin there coming out of the cambered right-hander that I was talking about earlier on the lead up to No Name. So,
by the way, speaking about the drivers on the grid today, Matty is going to join in the Williams car. He's just late for the qualifying session, but he will be there. At least he's supposed to be, as told.
right, okay. That hopefully will make the race interesting. If you've got someone right at the back, didn't do qualifying, we don't know what their pace is going to be. Maybe they could be a bit of a dark horse in this race. Especially since it's the first time all of these guys will be racing each other on the same grid, so they really aren't used to each other and how each other race, and they might not get the chance to. In all honesty, as they end up on different grids for the actual season. But it's a good insight into how the new talent here in ERO will be. As a small mistake there from Tutty Boys, he came through the right-hander, which was pretty much flat on the last game. You have to set it up right to get it flat, but
The Purnell, it was possible to make it flat out, but not every single time.
It was pretty difficult. You had to set it up really well, but I wonder what it's going to be like on this game, since these cars seem to have an insane amount of mechanical grip compared to last year's cars, which makes no sense. But they've reduced the downforce quite a bit, and I think quite unnecessarily as well, since the downforce on the 2021 cars is only cut a bit at the back, but that shouldn't cause the levels of understeer that you get in this game. It's very strange the way they've decided to go with this game in terms of how the cars handle. It's at top of Eau Rouge and Radion. It is the Jet in the Aston Martin kept going. P7 there for Tutty Boy with a 44.0. It's going to be the Red Bull, or no, it won't. He's on an outlap. It's going to be Kappa, the next driver to cross the line on a flying lap. Let's see what kind of improvement he can get, if any at all, as hopefully he's not impeded here by the Red Bull. Shouldn't be. The Red Bull was quite far in front, and he's
Oh, that was a bit of slide.
But he does have a huge slide there at the final corner, right up on the curb, and he does improve by a tenth, but it could have been so much more if he hadn't had that slide. That's very unfortunate there for Kappa, as we now have the Alpha Tauri of Master Game coming to complete a lap as well. And just see what he's doing as he comes up to the bus stop chicane here. It's looking like a fairly solid lap. Misses the apex of the first part of the bus stop. Just about gets the second part of the bus stop right, though. He's going to come up to the line. It's going to be a 43.8. Puts him P7 for the moment. And it is an improvement of about 0.3. So definitely more time to find, but a solid...
yellow flags again.
Yeah, top of Eau Rouge, it is Sweet Blues, who is out of the session.
And we
Sweet
can
Blues
see that
crashed from P2 in the session and will not continue. Unfortunately.
So he's in the front row at best.
Yeah. But it's a fairly good lap that he's got there, so...
Master Game has already improved by 0.2 of a second. It does not change his position at this moment.
No, he's half a second behind Jet, but 0.2 in the first sector, that's probably the hardest sector to gain time in, so could be on for a pretty good lap here, but he is just looking like he's missing all the apexes as Matty joins the session.
Yep, he's supposed to take a Williams and then stay in the garage since...
This game is really bad on the track limits at Purnell. I've noticed this. He's just run wide at Puon, like full throttle, and gotten away with it. But that is Silent. Six?
Celsius. Yeah,
What? There with the
pretty
fastest
impossible
lap
to
of session of
pronounce for a
42.
non-all.
Yeah.
So I just take care of these Polish nicknames since...
Yeah, I'll just call him JML, which I know is the group he races for, but he actually has another JML. Oh, that's confusing. There's 3 guys in here from JML.
Yeah. And Mattis in the Williams officially, he will race.
But I doubt he'll be able to get into qualifying. But it's going to be Master Game, crosses the line, goes P7 there, improves by 0.6 of a second. So
No, it's
gives you
another
that time.
DNF.
And that's a Vapor Shadow, who has yet to set a time, has crashed at the top of Eau Rouge. Seems to be a difficult spot for a lot of the guys at the moment. Let's just see if we can... Yeah, right at the top there. That's unfortunate for him. I wonder how much fuel Master Game put on board to be able to set 2 laps in a row. Definitely
All I
run
know
out
is
of
that
battery
he's
now.
now going to the pits, most likely.
Guru Rod is on an out lap. And we also have Crank York, who's invalidated somehow. And Crass Liam on laps. So I think it's going to be the Haas driver, the next one to complete a full lap here. So we'll ride on board with him. And it's not looking too bad. So just watch him as he runs down towards Blanchimont here. He's going to be somewhere in the general area for lap time. It looks like he's 13 seconds to get to the line from here. Breaks at the 100-meter marker board. Down into second. Hits the apex of the right. Gets the second part of the apex right as well. But there's a big slide on exit. He's going to have to take a slightly adjusted line, but it is the fastest lap of the session, even with that mistake. And it's by a whole 10th and a half over the name I can't pronounce. So
It's still 6 again.
yeah, I'm never gonna
You
get
can
it
call
right.
him. You can call him Jacob since it's his real name.
What?
Jacob, like this one should be
Oh, Jacob.
another yellow flags on the
Yeah,
camel
it's,
corner because it's camel
Yeah,
corner. Not
it was
straight.
someone. It was Liam letting someone through on a flyer lap. He was just slowing down for them. He was letting Jet through. He was on an out lap, not a flyer, but there's no way Liam knows that. There's Jet is going pretty fast, probably ruining his tyres on an out lap here because temperatures do matter, of course. Probably want to take it a bit more careful to keep your tyres in the best operating range. But oh well. A lot of these drivers, obviously, as I said before, this might be their first league racing experience, and they're not going to know these kind of things. They're all things that come with experience, of course. So we'll give them a bit of time. I'm sure they'll.
As Gui Rod has spun somewhere, it looks like we've got another yellow flags. It's Haas letting by, so there is no hype in terms of crashing. A slight lag from you, if you ask. Couldn't hear.
Is that all you care about? People crashing?
No. It's just like building a hype for something happening, like interesting situation.
Right. Anyway, with those yellows, it's not looking like Greenwood's going to improve. So we'll move on to Tutty Boy, who's coming into that horrible right-hander already. Then into no looking at his apex is pretty well there. So maybe not pushing the limits to their absolute max, but it's looking like a fairly solid clean lap as he downshifts to 7th through P1. We have more yellows as one of the Alpha Tauris is letting another driver through. In fact, it's the only Alpha Tauri left in this qualifying session master game, of course. So,
I wonder how many laps he's on now. He's on out lap currently.
and Crank York retires in the pits. I hate that does yellow flags. But a bit of traffic coming up for Tutty Boy. Hopefully they don't get too much in the way. No, they won't. And Tutty Boy taking the curb at Blanchimont, getting away with it, but wouldn't dare do that.
Because this one has worked, but the second one may not.
Yeah, he won't get away with it again, I don't think. It was 6/10 of an improvement, only 10th place, though. 10th place, really one of the worst places to start on the grid, in all honesty, as it does mean that the guys behind you on the alternate strategy are going to have an advantage over you.
Can you
Whereas
invite Mr. Tricks? You have probably that PSN.
I
Like-
don't.
There you go on the Discord.
Right.
He's got... Time is up theoretically, but he's still got a minute.
Right.
So, looking at the grid of today's qualifying, there is most likely Cross Liam go into the front row since Tilchix has invalidated his lap time.
Ah, that's pretty bad, actually. That means he will not get the chance to improve. He retires on track right in front of Tati Boy there. Normal league race, that would be a penalty for him retiring. Well, it would be a warning for his first time retiring on track. It happened right in front of someone else, but they weren't on a flying lap, so it wouldn't be a penalty this time round. But you've got to be careful doing that kind of stuff, of course. It will eventually lead to penalties and such. There's Jet having a unique line through this section of track, but obviously works for him. Really aggressive. He's really throwing it in. You could see the car leaning over towards the exit part of the corner, but yeah, he gets away with it this time. Regen coming into the pits with his invalidated lap. So we are just waiting on Jet. He'll be the final driver to complete a lap here as we finally get to the end of this qualifying session, and it looks like he's backed out. He will not.
He's run out of fuel.
Yep, running out of fuel. Seen that quite a bit. Obviously, Spa being a long track, he goes off the track. He's not really letting anyone through. Everyone else is finished, but I think he doesn't know that. Oh,
yep.
well, he's let the Ferrari through.
Even though the Ferrari of Mark has already finished.
Yeah, it's an AI car, but oh well.
What if an AI car makes the better lap time than the actual racer? How would that feel?
Means the racer is pretty bad.
154 anyways.
But here, luckily, Jet will finish his lap, so not keep us waiting through the pit lane animation. That's what we like to see. And that should be it for
and I hope that Mr.
session.
Tricks will join the session, to be honest. Liam Cross takes the pole position ahead of Jakub Trzeciak and Gui Rodriguez. That's the top three of today's qualifying. Do not miss the finish clock with the Polish one. That's a mistake, and it was told about it. Now we've got Kapakok, Sweet Blues, Region to Glory, Crankyork, Energy Jet, Master Game, Tutti Boy, Mark, Koguchik, Vapor Shadow, Matty, and there will be Mr. Tricks on the last place. I hope.
Hopefully, if he joins very quickly.
Not a qualifying session like last season in Silverstone, because we've got the top 4 within 12 thousandths of a second, but still pretty competitive. We've got the top 6 and the rest. And I wonder about the weather, because nobody told us. It most likely means it's dry, unless they're hiding a surprise. And Mr. Tricks, Mr. Tricks is confirmed to race in this Grand Prix.
Yep, see his name on the right there, so that's all good. We'll have 15 drivers.
Yep, and that's what we love.
Yep. Well, we'd love 20, but
yep,
we'll do with 15.
Before the formation lap starts, we remind you about signing up to European Racing Organization Season 6 with 6 divisions of PlayStation, 2 on PC and 1 on Xbox. And the top division on PlayStation will have no assists available. Hello Loki on the chat, you might know about these no assists. The link to the Discord server is down below on the description of the live stream. So free to click it and join and sign in.
Yeah, also make sure if I'm assuming most people in the chat would know, but if you didn't know, to check out ERO's Instagram page, of course, same name as the YouTube channel, European Racing Organisation, where mostly unknown will be uploading clips or interesting moments from some of our races, and quite a lot of interesting content on there. So definitely make sure to go check that out if you have Instagram and want to know more about the league. As there's a bit
What's going on? Spin! Yep, that's the big spin of Celsius.
Oh no! I just seen him go off so fast in the background. That's gonna hold the whole grid up when they get to the end. They'll be waiting for him to get into position. Oh dear.
A painful experience, but thankfully there is no damage at the formation lap.
Yeah, there is disqualifications. You still got to make sure not to run into each other, but I guess the game's gonna let you get away with crashing on your own. What helmet is he running there? Can't see it. My camera settings.
I still wonder how is that possible that the stands on the Purnell are so bad. Like, there's an actual stand there, and there are just people on the grass. Come on, Cody.
Well, it's because Cody's haven't changed, inverted commas, haven't changed any of the tracks this year. We know they have, but nothing major. It's mostly curbs and little details. They haven't changed anything major about any of the tracks. So, of course, they are busy creating the 3 new ones they need to for this season.
As most probably,
which I heard might be coming out. Yeah, go on.
Most likely they will come out on September, as the gossips are talking, but I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's most likely. If it takes much longer than that, there will be problems. Because the F1 community is already pretty upset they weren't in the game on launch. So, and I mean, you can understand why it's taken them so long. It was fairly last minute that they had to start building completely new tracks. But you know what the F1 community is like. They're always impatient with everything. Canada is quite nice now, says Loki. Yeah, the curbs are much better. Still hate the profiling of the final chicane, though. It's way too tight.
Yep, we're about to start the race. Kieran, Spa, Franco show. Let us get the better camera view. As it's 1, 2, 3, 4 lights. Liam goes through Jakub Wojciech into the first corner of Season 6 of PlayStation. It's lights out and away we go, and looks like Liam Cross has got a pretty good start. But there's Guy Rodriguez going down the inside, fully missing the corner, and will lose a couple of places right now. He's back on track. Looks like there's no major carnage yet. But Liam Cross takes the lead back, and he's on the first place. Behind him, not only Celsius, but there's Rodriguez who is spinning at the air. There's already 2 spins. And that must be a safety car since 4 drivers.
4 drivers out of the race.
And that must be
VSP.
Why there's a virtual safety car. But I think it was just a chain reaction from all the drivers.
Yeah, quite ironic that of all people, it was Gui who had the incident at turn 1 and then at Eau Rouge, since he was the one that was telling people not to dive bomb during the race in the chat. So, might want to take his own advice there, really. But
Yep.
what can you say? Big crash.
Yep, check studio, you're right.
It is your favourite thing in the world.
That was a chain. That actually was a chain, and there's a full safety car being deployed.
Yeah, so the VSC changing to the full safety car, being showcased already. Obviously, new feature for this game. I mean, what can I say? It's interesting. You don't see it very often in real life. I guess it probably has happened at some point. We saw it with safety cars to red flags for certain, but no red flags in the F1 game. So,
well,
anyway,
if I was Michael Masi, I would definitely red flag.
Oh yeah, 4 cars at the top of Eau Rouge. But we've had some safety car glitching going on already. Good to know that Cody's really like fixing these bugs that have been in the game for years now.
Top 3, more and more drivers, like 5 drivers for now, are in the pits. As Region to Glory is disconnected for some reason.
They're either pitting for hards or they're going to try to stop him. Medium's onto the Haas there of Liam, so I'm assuming he's going to go medium soft to the end.
Can
I
you
don't
invite Regen to Glory, by the way?
Region. Okay. Oh, is that literally just? Wait, let me read his name. Just literally cap. Okay, literally just caps. This whole time I've been trying to log into my Discord, but
Like, you're lagging, but meanwhile I just wanted to say that currently I don't see a storm or a battleground in the chat.
that's not very ERO of them. I'm joking. We're all very nice people who are lovely here in ERO. That's one of the best communities you can join. Over 1,000 members, as you saw in the intro. And if you're thinking about starting league racing, or you're already a league racer who's looking for a league with some good rules and generally good organisation and management, ERO is definitely a place to look into. Getting the cheeky plug in there. You should really start doing some merch. The word that you won't let me say on stream.
I was thinking about it, to be honest.
Yeah, we can start plugging that on stream. That would be great.
Well, to be honest, I might know the reason of the spin and the chain reaction in the ERO. Remember, nobody has crashed on purpose. Nobody has caused a carnage. It was just a chain reaction. One driver spun, so others followed him.
Yeah, of course. We wouldn't have had intentional crashes like this already. It's really not something that you find outside of your 5-lappers. Obviously, you see it all the time in 5-lappers, but under a set of rules like this, we're all looking for a nice, friendly, respectful race, and no one's going to cause carnage on purpose.
Yep, safety car is still going. So maybe let's
see why.
Let's maybe talk about the previous seasons for a quick lap. When the safety car is still on and Regen to Glory is struck to join as told. So Belgium was in all of the 5 seasons of the ERO calendar, following from season 1 to this point. We've got 5 different winners on this track on 5 seasons of ERO F1. And the first one, the champion of that season, Juan, has won after a battle with Jesper. Then in season 2 there was Purnell winning in one of his 2 participations in ERO F1. He was mostly racing at F2. Season 3 there was a victory of Bjorn in chaotic race, including 4 safety cars plus 1 virtual safety car. Even though he got brake checked by one of the drivers during the safety car restart. In season 4...
Season 3 Belgium.
Yeah. This was also my only did not start in F2 division, the season 3 Belgian Grand Prix.
That was the race where I got brake checked by Houseman and Timats in the space of 5 laps. And I went from looking like I could win the race to not.
Thankfully, my then teammate Libanov in Toro Rosso has scored 12 points. And I was watching the stream in a shopping center because my glasses were broken. Personal story. Season 4, continuing, that was Max winning. It was one of his 9 victories in a row, with Jagiellon kind of close to him, around 3 seconds, which is incredibly close comparing to the achievements of Max out there. And in season 5, we've got Julian Berenson winning in Belgian Grand Prix in the full inter-rain race. Oh, Kapakok's out! What happened there?
This car in this lap as well. I think he spun on his own. and maybe he went a bit wide at the exit of the chicane, hit the gravel, and he's in the wall on his own. That's where Giovinazzi had his crash with Russell.
Yeah, and I have instantly typed Russell in the David Drivers chat because what happened there? We don't know. Matty's still swapping positions with Vapor Shadow.
Yeah, it looks like a safety car glitch, but let's see. Obviously the new safety car restarts. No longer are you put under a limiter, so you can go as fast or as slow as you want the whole time. Once that safety car's lights goes out, obviously here they have gone early, and it does stop that glitch where if you overtake the safety car while it's in the pit lane. But
oh, that's already a free white into turn 1.
Oh, that's a big send there from Matty, and it's kind of worked out, but he's lost momentum down the straight, and it might be an opening there for Mr. Tricks. Mr. Tricks thinking better of it, though. Obviously, not the kind of place you want to overtake right this early in the race, but he's right up behind, coming into the longest straight on this track. Let's see if he can get anything out of it. Jetta currently in AI mode, giving slipstream to Matty. Matty with the huge send, but he's got it slowed down on those medium tyres, and he gets himself onto the podium, 3rd place. And Trix gets through into 4th as well. Regen to Glory, of course, still disconnected, hasn't rejoined the lobby, and he now loses his position, and that's Matty into 2nd and Trix into 3rd to chase after Sweet Blues. Great getaway there for Sweet Blues, really judged it right, of course. Didn't have the whole issue of the safety car slowing you down and it enters the pits, but you can't quite go yet. That's not an issue on this game, and that is a great fix. But looks like there's been an overtake. Liam getting into 5th place, Regen to Glory still falling down the order, and Tutty Boy getting past Jet, who's also in AI mode. So I don't know what this is, why they're right now, but
slight lag from you, but still I understood what's going on. Tutty Boy. So we've got 8 runners only after 4 laps, and Must again looks like to be fuming because of energy on the AI mode, which might be severely penalized.
Oh, he goes onto the grass. Jesus. Yeah, really getting stuck behind Jet and Regen here. Not sure what's going to happen about that. Maybe he's going to send it into turn 1. The AI going defensive. That was quite a late defensive move there. But luckily, Master Game able to get away with no damage. And into P9, only got to chase after the ghosted and disconnected Regen here. As Mr. Tricks and Matty battling out for P2 on the straight. It's the slipstream for Mr. Tricks, but as we know in this game, that means nothing. Slipstream actually has no effect at all on this game. Dirty Air's stronger than in last year's game, but Slipstream they just seem to have got rid of. It's all based on DRS now.
Oh, there's a contact between Matty and Mr. Tricks, and he is overtaken by
going up the inside. Very close stuff. Touching there through No Name, but Vapor just getting around the outside. Maybe looking to pull on. Not quite yet for Tricks. He's going to play it safe for now. But that's our first penalty of the race. It's to Tutty Boy, 3 seconds for track limits. And Matty goes wide. Maybe that's going to allow Vapor to get the better run here. Of course, Vapor Shadow. He obviously races for Vapor. As there's a DNF there. What's happened there? He's on the exit of the chicane on the right side, and there's another safety car. Second safety car here in this race.
Already? It's searching out.
Yeah, he crashed on the exit of the chicane. I don't know what happened.
I missed that one since I was talking with Kapakox. He has done a Russell in Imola 2020.
As we have Sweet Blues and Matty into the pits, followed by Mr. Trick. So these are the guys that didn't pit under the first safety car. And this is really going to hurt them way more than pitting under the first safety car would have, because the field is still so bunched up. We've only had 2 laps of racing. So hard tyres going on for Mr. Tricks. Matiz going on to the hards, but Sweet Blues, interestingly, onto the mediums. They're also followed into the pits by Regen and Master Games AIs. So a lot going on here at the start of this race, and not all of it positive.
Well,
Actually, very little of it is positive. We have 7 drivers left. We started with 15 with 6 laps into this race with the second safety car. So
How many finishes? 5?
I'm saying 4.
Let's be honest. In British Grand Prix on PC, there were only 3 DNFs.
Yeah. Some British Grand Prix, much better track as well.
I only said to Luke, the admin, the JJ dog, not to pick the recruitment tracks in Monaco.
Should have maybe made that list a bit longer. You got to remember, a lot of these guys, it's their first league racing experience. Maybe choose a track like Austria or Britain or something similar to that. Maybe not Monza with Turn 1. You know, the kind of easier, better tracks for racing that would really give them a good experience.
As well, but it's a place for chaos.
Yeah.
France was actually... France would be a good choice as well. We will be thinking about other tracks for Season 7 for the Drivers' Race.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think that Spa was a bit of an odd choice, considering you've got corners like Eau Rouge and Raidillon. You've got La Source, which is dive bomb central. You've got that chicane, which is clearly causing trouble. You've got the cambered right-hander everyone hates. Yeah,
Meanwhile,
definitely...
Tootsie Boy already has got a penalty.
Yeah, I've said that like 4 laps ago, mate.
So apparently, we've got little racing yet in Spa-Francorchamps, but I hope for some action. Since we've got a couple of competitive drivers, such as Liam Cross or Archie Brewer, aka Vapor Shadow.
Yeah, hopefully the safety car doesn't stay out much longer. Would like to get some racing in here as Matty and Jet are into the pits. Not sure what that's about. Maybe trying hard to the end. Definitely possible from this point in the race, actually. Gonna have to see how this one plays out, really. I'm not sure about how good the hard tyres are going to be. Not actually used much of the hard tyres in this game so far, so it will be interesting to find out.
Oh, there's a spin! He saved that! And it's Jacob Tucker saving his car on Eau Rouge Raidillon. Back on the grid ahead of Matty. And Aston Martin.
So obviously one of the trickier corners, especially ever since they added that bump to it in 2020, which makes no sense, but oh well. Cody's do love adding a bit of bump, and they do like adding a bit of grass, so they're going to do them. I mean, for anyone who hasn't seen on Twitter, people finding bumps at tracks like Brazil, Spain, Austria has a really mean one on the run up to turn 3 that kind of just send your car. So Codemaster's really gone. There's almost a collision there between Master Game
and an AI, or actually a ghost.
No, it was Trix. It was Trix that he nearly had an incident with. I think Trix slowed up for Sweet Blues. It might have been a bit of a chain reaction there from a mistake from someone, but maybe it was just the leader slowing down or something. Who knows? But yeah. Luckily, Master Game got back on track in the same position. Safety car in this lap, thank God. Now let's see how Vapor
just
Shadow...
before we get another safety car 2 laps later, we are racing for the 3rd time we are starting this race, actually.
Now let's see how Vapor Shadow deals with this restart. He's definitely backed off a lot more than the previous leader under the safety car did, so maybe a bit more experience dealing with this kind of situation compared to whoever it was that did it before. I can't remember.
Sweet Blues, I believe, still,
Yeah, I think
Archie
so.
Brewer keeps weaving on the track, keeps warming up the tires. It looks like he's now going, or maybe not. There's still a bus stop chicane. He's braking. He's going very slowly, 50 kilometers per
He's
hour.
going now.
Yep, he should be going
Oh,
right
there's
now.
trouble. He's going to go all the way to the DRS line. He did have a touch with Liam, who got hit from behind by Tati.
As we've got a great result by Vapor Shadow, who's extended his lead. But behind Ryan Cross, there is Susie, there's Sweet Blues, there's Mr. Tricks. There are plenty of drivers fighting for that second place. And everyone keeps going for the Rouge, or we will see another spin!
It's Master Game. Master Game just straight up into the barrier there. I was on board with him when it happened, and that does reduce us down to 6 drivers in this race. Of course, it still says 8, but we have 2 in AI.
Energy Jet has gone officially into an actual car. There's a physical penalty for Vapor, and Matti has got a little contact.
Mr. Tricks is open. And Sweet Blues going at it into the right-hander there. No safety car for the incident this time for us to put in 2 consecutive safety cars out, so it allows for a bit more racing. But Vapor now got to contend with the 3-second time penalty. Not that it looks like it's going to cause too much of an issue, as he's already 1.7 seconds,
1.8 ahead of Liam Cross. There's yellow flags, and it's Vapor.
Vapor Shadow. He's off into the wall, just as I was saying. How well he was doing. He's pushed it a bit too far and he reset the track by the looks of it. But
5+1.
Yeah, but obviously not for this race. Yeah, just complimenting how well he was doing, and he's made a mistake, so bit of commentator's curse there. Sorry to him. But Sweet Blues now, with a 3-second time penalty, becomes the 3rd driver in this race to receive a track limits penalty.
Oh, that was very close for Matti.
Let's. Any notable damage at least, so maybe able to come back into this race as it continues.
To be honest, you cannot not make a spin into an Rouge when you are on the outside line.
It looked like it's going to be Mr. Tricks with much stronger. No DRS, of course, just yet, but he's going to come alongside, trying to use ERS to get the move completed, but it looks like this.
There's no leaving a space. There wasn't any space at all.
Turned around. Yeah, so he's going to be fuming at that one.
Yep, this one might be reported. It was seen on the stream as well.
Yeah, definitely going to say that he deserved more space there. I'm sure that the car that spun him around, Tutty Boy, would argue.
So that was way more space.
See what Stuart are thinking of it at the end.
Yep.
As Tutty Boy has a mistake, nearly spins, and now he's got Matty trying to come up his inside. Matty backs out of that one, and actually spins. Matty spins on his own.
Yep.
So another spinner there at the chicane.
No damage to his front wing. We've got plenty of. Actually, it was a spin party so far.
Yeah, lots of spins so far in this race, but Spa is a difficult track. Again, I'm not sure why it was chosen as the new drivers race, but it is what it is. We now have Liam once again leading this race, sets the fastest lap of the race of 45.4. So currently looking to completely dominate, as he looks to have good pace over Tutty Boy. Of course, Tutty Boy had that moment, but he's already 5 seconds behind Liam. Liam without a penalty as well, so really in control of this race at the moment, as Shadow is starting to catch up to the main part of the pack now, including Tutty Boy, Sweet Blues, Jet, and well, that's about it now that we've been reduced to so little drivers in this race. But it is. Let's see if there's going to be any further battling here between this little group here. All very tight together. 3/10 separating Jet and Blues here, and only half a second separating Blues and Tutty Boy. So definitely potential for a lot to go on now that DRS has been enabled. Blues with the mistake through Porn has slowed him right down, but it's just not enough for Jet to take advantage, it looks like, unless he goes for a move. He doesn't into the chicane. Definitely a smart choice there, not really an overtaking spot on this track. And they will continue in formation for now. And maybe on the run down to the bus stop, as there's been a spin in, it's Liam. Liam is round. He's run too wide at the exit of...
Oh, there's also a DNF from Vapor.
Shadow retires. And he's the same place, exact same.
And he's out as well.
Liam
This might
did.
be another safety car being called out. Will we see Purnell at
Yeah,
the
I
lead of
think
the race for the third
If
time?
you look at the car is right on that curb. But like it would have been called out by now if it was going to... It's cleared, we should be back to normal. And yeah, as you say,
We're
he's actually
halfway
managed to
through.
get Blues. In fact, he's actually managed to get... Oh, there's been a mistake. Yeah, he's got Liam through.
Oh, spin
And
of Liam!
Liam spins at the top of Eau Rouge. Liam at the top of Eau Rouge with a spin. This has not been a great race for the driver who was leading at one point. Still no damage for him, quite luckily, but those tyres must be destroyed.
This race
can't see them.
apparently reminds me of a social race before Season 2, which we as well organized in Belgium in Spa-Francorchamps. But personally, for me, it ended on the Eau Rouge as well. But we've got like 4 people DNF'd in the full grid in lap 1. And at the end of the race, there were 5 or 6 finishes. So,
Well, we
we're
currently only
actually
have
getting a
6
throwback.
drivers still going.
Yep, Vapor
So-
already on the chat to reschedule this race.
As we're migrating host, as Shadow did leave. So, yeah, that's a lot going on in this race at the moment.
We should have gone for another track. For Season 7,
Yeah.
we're doing France. We're doing France. At
Do
Austria.
France, and I think. Yeah. But still a good battle here for the lead now, with that mistake from Liam a few laps back. Does make this now a battle for the lead. So Tutty Boy, Sweet Blues and Jet all within a second of one another, getting that DRS advantage on the straight. And it looks like Sweet Blues could be on for a move here. He's less than half a second behind as they come up to Eau Rouge and Radion, now less than 4/10 behind. Coming up, let's see who has the better run through Eau Rouge. It is actually Tutty Boy, the better run, but once that DRS flap opens, that advantage should be completely cut. Look how powerful the DRS is. Much more powerful than we've ever seen it before in this game. I think what they've done is they've just combined the benefits of DRS and ERS. DRS and Slipstream.
Oh, there's also energy going for it.
Yeah, Jet just not quite able to get it. But I think what they've done for this game is they've basically removed the effect of Slipstream and added it onto DRS, so that they're using the dirty air to make it difficult for a driver to stay within 1 second. So if you're a slower driver, it will be hard for you to stay within 1 second and create the DRS trains like we had last year. Obviously not impossible, but difficult for that to happen. And then once you get inside that 1 second, overtaking is much easier for a faster driver because they get a huge bonus to their straight line speed in those DRS zones. It's a fairly good solution from how it sounds, but we'll have to see how it plays out this year and see if the racing is a bit better than it was in last year's game. But I honestly think they should just go for the realistic stuff. And because I mean, this year, 2021, we've not had awful racing. It's been difficult to get overtaking on some tracks, but it's not been the worst racing ever.
Oh,
there's been a
major late braking made
Hits
by
there.
Sweet Blues.
and yeah,
And Sweet
Sweet
Boy
Blues.
pit.
Yeah, Tutty Boy pit. So Sweet Blues just brake too late. Luckily, managed to keep it going in the right direction. Doesn't seem to have any damage either, quite luckily for himself. But does lose the position to Jet. Jet now leading this race by 1.5 seconds and without a penalty, which is a huge advantage over his main competitors here. If he can keep it that way.
Let's be honest about Sweet Blues. It's maybe not the fastest, but a very wise decision not to lift off in Eau Rouge, since what he has seen in front of him or behind him at the start of this race, he's just cautious, and that's fine.
Speaking of track limits, Jet now gets a 3-second time penalty for
Sweet
track
has
limits. So yeah, well, I mean, I was talking about how Jet hasn't had a penalty yet. He has now had that penalty, and they've got Tutty Boy, who's going to be chasing them down quite hard with fresh tyres. He's actually put fresh medium tyres on to go to the end of the race. So we'll see how this one plays out for
There's already a gap of 3
catch up with the
seconds.
likes of Sweet Blues and Jet. Of course, I'm assuming Jet and Sweet Blues might try and pit again for softs at the end of this race. So I think they both have a stop left in their strategy. I think the only driver to not have a stop left in their strategy is a Regen who's disconnected, as Tutty Boy gets another penalty there. So
Region
everyone,
unfortunately won't count the race results.
yeah, of course. So only 6 drivers will be classified from this race as it stands. As Sweet Blues does now pit, Jet trying to take those tyres just a little bit longer. Maybe see if he can put some softs on and go to the end on some softs, which is exactly what Sweet Blues looks to be doing. He's putting the soft tyre on to try and gain an advantage over Tutty Boy.
At wing.
Tutty, yeah, he's changing his front wing, which is going to hurt him. He's a long way behind Tutty Boy now, but will have a tyre advantage of both compound and age. So we're going to see how this one plays out with the remaining 8 laps, which is quite a long way to take your softs.
So it's Tutty Boy on the new mediums. Also, Lion Cross has got 1 laps of mediums. Mr. Chicks with 2. On soft, we have brand new softs for Sweet Blues and Matty with 1 lap old soft tires. And Energy Jet is the only one with 6 laps old medium tires. So everyone has pitted recently, but it looks like Energy Jet will try to win this race in the same medium compound.
No, there's no way. I think he's pitting again.
Well, we'll see. But
The tire wear on this game, the tires start to get slow a lot earlier on in the tire life, and I think it makes it almost worth doing a 2-stop at a lot of these tracks, or going for the hard tire instead, which will be more consistently slower but have a longer, more consistent life, as Trix gets himself a penalty there in 4th place. So we'll have to see how it plays out, but I think that
yep, he's still going for it, so currently it's Liam Cross on the 2nd place and Energy Jet going with the 16 seconds gap, and it all depends on him if he pits or not.
I think Jet will pit either this lap or next lap.
Oh, maybe not! Because he spins and he's out of the race!
No, he is now out of the race. That's a tyre glitch. He's had the wall glitch.
And he's calling out
it's
a
a VSB.
virtual safety car. And I was just speaking 16 seconds of a gap. Now Tutty Boy leads the Belgian Grand Prix. Wow.
Yeah. Once
should
again,
do
the
every
McLaren
year-
driver.
Yeah, I already got ideas for the content, let's be honest.
Yeah, you're going to do all the shorts. I've just seen that on your stream, yeah. It's such an odd crash. He definitely, I think, got the tyre wall glitch, which basically, if you didn't know, it causes your car to kind of get attached to the tyre wall, and then out of nowhere, your tyre will just fall off for no reason.
Well-
We've seen it in 2020, and it seems to have carried over to this game, unfortunately.
Let's be honest, he was going for the outside line in the middle of Eau Rouge, which automatically causes you to make you a spin. So
Yeah,
you should stick to the inside as much as you can while going
I'm not
uphill.
but but
Yeah.
it leaves us now with 5 drivers running. How crazy is that?
Well, I did expect some DNFs, but not that many. as we've got DRS enabled, green flag is out, we're racing again with 5 drivers only, but thankfully within 9 seconds. So this means loads of action ahead of us. And I don't think we need to see the tires anymore. Even though
I'm going to be... Oh, there's nearly a spin there for Totty Boy. Hits the curb. Someone in the chat will go, tyres please, tyres please, tyres please, please, why are you not showing the tyres? I've had enough of it over the year and a half I've been commentating to know that's going to happen.
What about now? Another spin?
Javier saying he's really liking this new Hunger Games format.
Well,
F1 ERO Battle Royale.
That must be... Well, I should have created something like this. Could the last one to spin in Euro should get $10,000 or something, because this would be a competition. Like, the last one to spin in Euro gets 10,000. Don't take it seriously. I'm not making it. I don't have money for that. But still.
Very interesting here is Cross Liam still without a penalty. Only half a second behind Tutty Boy. He's been catching very fast ever since the end of the VSC. And Trix and Matty not too far behind either. So, there's a big mistake there from Tutty Boy on the exit of the pool. He's just hit the inside curb on the exit. And now the outside curb into the chicane. He's making a lot of mistakes.
As
the pace as it looks. Well, it's because
that's because
you live in Poland. And I live in the UK. We're not going to have the best connection.
Oh, he's using the overtake mode. He is going well too ill.
No, he's not going to do it just yet. He's got to wait through. He lifts off through Blanchimont, so not looking for the move just yet. He's going to probably try a DRS pass instead. But as I was saying, our connection's not going to be perfect. Coutinho's in Poland. I'm in the UK. That's fairly far apart.
Even though I've got a 3-digit connection and the ping is around 20 milliseconds compared with London, when I connect to London servers. So I don't know how this happens.
What do you mean? What do you mean 3-digit connection?
Let's us watch the EOS that I will tell you a bit later. Because now it looks like Tutty Boy is the only one not to have DRS. This means he might be overtaken by 3 people at once. There's behind battle. There's also ahead. Graham Cross takes the lead.
Matthew's going for the move on Trix. They've made contact. I think Trix just about gets away with that one. But very aggressive stuff from there. Looks like Trix maybe missed the inside curb, missed the apex in the corner, and that caused the contact, forcing Matty a bit wide, but it all ended good. But that moves Matty up onto the podium. Trix already falling back. Matty, of course, on those soft tyres, maybe looking to make an impact right at the end of this race. And, very close stuff there as Tutty Boy makes another mistake through Puon. Once again, with a much worse run. Maybe a move here from Matty. It's Tutty Boy! And Matty's round! Oh dear, luckily the ghosting system stopping him from collecting Mr. Trix on the way through, and he retires on track. He retired on track, manually.
Well, this was most likely the curb speeding. If you have seen better point of view, just let me know.
I was on board with him. He just came up onto the curb, and where it's a high curb, the car didn't like, then came round. Too greedy on the curb. Didn't need to be that greedy on the curb. Should have just backed out. The move wasn't really on, despite the lockout from Tutty Boy, and he should have just been more careful about it. He's got 5 laps left now, so he had 5.5 laps left at the time. DRS zones are the best place to be making those kind of moves. He'd definitely have had a chance, but it was just not really a necessary move to make. As Tutty Boy really struggling, it looks like. He's now got Mr. Trix on his tail. He's now using overtake mode. I was going to say he wasn't using his overtake. It is now as he sees Tutty Boy derating and makes a fairly easy move for second place there.
And that's a revenge for the earlier battle where Tutty Boy has spun.
Yeah, of course.
Round.
Of course. Yeah, so there is Trix now into second. Let's see if he can maybe make a charge for a late winner here as Matty leaves the session. So now 4 drivers left running in this race. And Not
Yellow
really what we
flags?
want to see. Is there's now a mistake from Tutty Boy. He spins at Paul and he's been threatening that
All the way through the Belgian Grand
the
Prix,
last few
and now
laps.
he's finally
Yeah.
spun.
Yeah, as I said, I kept noting he was making mistakes there, hitting the curbs all funny, getting out of shape on the exit of Pillon, and now it's happened. He's made the spin, and he is down to what is effectively last of the classified drivers here. And it's been an awful, awful couple of laps here for Tutty Boy, as he's now slipped out of the podium, allowing Sweet Blues back onto the podium with those soft tyres, but I don't think he's close enough to make anything happen with the time left in this race. But who knows? It's been a crazy Grand Prix so far. Anything can happen, as Liam just looks to have a slight edge over Mr. Tricks here. Maybe not over the whole lap, but I think in all the right areas. He's fast on the way up to the DRS zones, which is only helping him. As you see, he's now made 3/10 through one corner, which is crazy, but it just shows that it's not all about how fast you are when it comes to similarly paced drivers. It also matters what parts of the track you're fast on. There's nearly a spin there for Mr. Tricks. He just about catches it after overcorrections and more overcorrect right way, but that's losing him time to Sweet Blues. Sweet Blues, of course, on the soft tyre, so that could be incentive for the Alfa Romeo driver. He could be smelling blood right now as Mr. Tricks gets another penalty for running off the track. That's another 3 seconds, and he's very much under threat now from Sweet Blues, who almost certainly has less penalties. Don't ruin it. Don't spoil the penalties, please. Let's leave it a
I'm not
surprise.
spoiling, I'm not spoiling. It's lap 19 with 4 runners remaining. Do not count Region to Glory as he's disconnected, and we don't know the reason.
Oh,
But
Mr. Tricks with the slide. This is getting pretty interesting at the end, despite only having 4 drivers. I mean, we've got less than a third of the grid we started with.
yeah,
That's not
and
good.
4 of them got eliminated during the lap 1 and Yorush. Well, I remember one day when there was wet Yorush in F1 2018 league race, not ER related, but where I went from last place to P6 on within one lap. So who is that example? Like Mr. Tricks 30% up, Sweet Blues 3% up, Tatty Boy with 6 places up. So definitely Mr. Tricks for driver of the day.
But at the same time, I think you've got to give
Give what? Lagged out.
thing of the day to Eau Rouge. It has been the most entertaining aspect of this race so far. I think we can say, in all honesty.
Paolo on the chat, I'm simply saying we don't know. Math cannot go for it. Like, we don't know what happened. No calculations can tell us what happened. But we've got 4 drivers speeding in Rouge in lap 1 without a contact.
Houseman, all you need to know, Eau Rouge happened.
Yeah.
Also, you say Mr. Tricks obviously gets driver of the day. I've got to say, Liam is definitely a shout. He got pole, he's leading the race, and he also has, if I can find it,
No penalties, and he was spun twice, at least.
Yeah. So he's the only driver.
He's the only without a penalty.
At half a tenth of fastest lap, which is currently held by Sweet Blues. So he's definitely made a good show for himself here, and I don't think you can count him out at all.
So, do we have all those 4 drivers peacefully going through the 2 last laps, or more like a lap and 2 sectors? As Celtics already sent his point of view from his crash and Belgian Grand Prix, and 2-year era of champ lagging, but it's all about the ping and the location of us too. We're on the European servers, not Russian, so I don't know how this happens. I don't know where Discord server are in Europe.
Servers. Probably the safest server for it to connect both of us to.
Hopefully it's Netherlands or Germany.
Germany? I don't know, that's still a lot closer to you than it is to me.
Like, if it's the West Germany, then it's okay for us both. But if it's
Yeah,
East,
I
you're
guess.
right.
Yeah.
The gap between
But,
Mr. Trix and Liam is now 2.3, and we are going to the last lap of this Belgian Grand Prix for debut drivers. Unfortunately for most, ended on the lap 1. Or early on the race. We've got plenty of crashes.
Yeah, I mean, plenty. I think that's an understatement, really. It's been too many crashes.
Yeah.
It's
I wouldn't mind one crash or two, but that would be okay. But 4 drivers spinning at once.
yeah. It was quite interesting. In all honesty, I didn't get a very good view of it. I just saw 4 cars end up in the same wall. But I don't think I've ever seen that before ever. Just having 4 cars come off into the same wall at the same time. I think the closest we ever got was with that crash with Alex and Matej in Bahrain.
It wasn't
last
Matej.
left through. Was it not Matej?
It was that Dutch. I'm
You
gonna
sure?
write you on DMs.
Are you sure it wasn't Matej? I swear it was Matej.
Matej hasn't even made a single race yet in Yaru.
Oh, right. Oh, Rick! Oh, yeah, okay. It was Alex and Rick.
And Alex went upside down. That was also a funny moment. But still, it's the last
2
lap.
separate instances. Same goal.
It's
Yeah,
the last
go
lap
ahead.
of the Belgian Grand Prix. We are going through the bus stop chicane with Liam Cross. If he doesn't spin out this time, he doesn't. This means he wins the Belgian Grand Prix for debut drivers.
Stop calling him Liam. His name is Liam.
Oh, sorry, this is my accent. Like, everyone in Poland says Liam.
Why? You say it like an E.
Like, I don't know, to be honest. Behind him there are Mr. Trix, Sweet Blues, and Tutti Bay.
Mr. Trix, Games Driver of the Day, of course.
Do you remember that F1 2019 crash of a Russian Grand Prix from I don't know which league, but it went viral for a while?
Oh, yeah.
Like, 9 drivers already out into lap 1.
Yeah, wasn't that it was the first corner. It wasn't even the first braking zone, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't even the first braking zone. And we've experienced the same thing today, but 4 drivers. And the rest actually crashing later in the race. Only 4 finishes, which is something we've never met before.
Yeah, I definitely think after this, I've got to say, F1 2019 is the goated F1 game for league racing.
I agree, even though in Season 2 we've got plenty of errors on the formation laps. But still...
Yeah, but they fixed that, didn't they? For the
they
Season
fixed
3.
that later on. But doesn't mean it was a thing.
Yeah, they haven't fixed anything in F1 2020.
These are the race results for the Belgian Grand Prix. 4 finishes only, which is something we don't get at all. But...
look at the incident page.
Incidents, okay. Quickly, because we've got 10 seconds! Can I make it? Yes, I did it!
It's quite bad.
That's quite surprising that only 6 drivers got penalties.
Well, only 4 drivers finished.
Yeah. So they got DNFs before penalties. This is
Yeah.
not something. This is something not to see frequently.
Javier says, what happens on the podium if only 2 finishers? I think whoever retired last just goes on the podium for the animation. I actually don't know. That could genuinely just break the game. But
If everyone crashes before, then we would just have top 3 drivers, the last 3 men standing in the podium celebrations.
Mm.
Shall we go to the F1 conference?
Yeah.
Yep. And I'll tell drivers to go to any talking voice chat, and I will move them. So see you there.
see ya.
I wonder if Champ enters in. I mean this chat, the F1 conference. So Jordi, Liam, I must learn that because everyone in Poland pronounces it the wrong way. And Victor, talking, and I will move you.
Are they? Have they seen the message?
Yep, they are pinged.
Right.
That was a huge race. Like, even with 4 finishers, we must say that was action.
Should we just invite all 4 of them?
It's only Tutti Boy who hasn't been invited. F1. We should have renamed that Grand Prix, not the debut drivers race Belgian Grand Prix, but the last man standing Belgian Grand Prix.
The
What if we did a race around any track with the infinite length? Like, you could
I don't
drive
think
as
you
many laps
can.
as you want.
I wish we could do that. We could do like last one. That race had gone for loads and loads and loads of laps though. That'd be like that'd probably end up being like a 48 hour.
I wonder how many laps would drivers survive in Belgium. Same as commentators.
well over 100.
Oh, Liam has left
That's
us, even though
sick.
I told him.
He literally
Yeah,
went in talking one and then left.
Liam, this is this chat. We are just moving you to the conference room.
Pardon me 1 second. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Fair.
I was supposed to say congratulations for. Okay, he's gone again.
Yeah, I know.
Shall we move them? I will move you to F1 conference VC. I wonder how Jod reacts. Liam again.
Hello, sorry. Left by accident. Whoops.
Okay.
Woo. Thank you
So
for inviting.
I was supposed to say congratulations for winning this race, but more like after what I have seen with Champ, we are supposed to say congratulations for winning the last man standing challenge.
I was close on a few occasions to not standing either, so whoops. But that was fun. I thought I basically dominated, apart from I can't remember who was in the Aston Martin who should
Vapor
have
Shadow
crashed out, but
or Energy Jet.
yeah, the energy guy, he should have won the race, but he didn't. And apart from that, it was pretty safe. I'm surprised I got no warnings for corner cutting either. But woo, I'm happy about that.
Well, did you expect so many crashes? Let's be honest.
No, I didn't. Every time I thought, okay, it's over, someone else crashed. But I noticed there was an Alpine at the start of the race that appeared to have caused every other crash. So I feel like, there could have been more without the first lap incident, but it is what it is.
Yep. 4 drivers out into turn 1 already. No, into turn
Wow.
1, into Eau Rouge.
Yeah, there was the Alpine dive bombed me at the start of the race, which kind of threw me off. And then I just look back and I just see the Alpine, same Alpine, in the wall. So it wasn't much of a surprise. Don't know who that is, but You know,
It was
it doesn't
Guy
go perfect
Rodriguez.
every time. Carry on.
It was Guy Rodriguez, Portuguese.
Ah, okay.
Literally,
Hopefully he gets another chance.
literally every time I want to insert and place, I have that force of habit to insert a DNF on the recruitment standing. This is how weird this race was.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a bit. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't have said it was a dirty race, to be honest. I just think everyone was making mistakes, and me included. But that's what happens when you have a load of debutants in one race, I guess.
Well, to be honest, on the PC race, there were 2 crashes after the cops corner, but that's it.
How many people finished?
It was 9 out of 12.
Oh, wow. That's actually
Here we've got
much better than
4.
our race. Huh?
Here we've got 4 out of 15.
Yeah,
Just-
that's bad. And I noticed I think it was a Red Bull who was 5th, Regen. Even before DNFing, he was about a minute behind. Sorry, is this going on is this on YouTube or just us privately talking?
This is actually on the YouTube, the whole stream. Also,
Hi. Hello, YouTube.
what's the channel name on YouTube? The same as the league.
Yes, European Racing Organization.
Yep. Even though the race was organized well, the drivers were now everyone just crashed into your rush. I just need to find the window capture, yeah. And I've got the recruitment standings live, and we are moving to them now. As you can see the results.
I'm not very good at Discord, so bear with me.
It's on the stream. It's on the stream.
I can't. I'm not watching the stream right now. Sorry, I'm just in the call.
Yep, but that was a huge race from you. You have spun only once, as I remember. Do I get it right?
Twice. I spun on the final straight, and I also spun on a Rouge, but that was right next to each other. So, and I recovered, so I can't complain too much. But twice.
Yeah. Anyways, we've also got Victor Sundal, the 3rd place of today's Grand Prix. Can you hear us? Some radio checks?
Can you hear me? I don't know if my sound's
Yep.
good.
How was this more like not a race but a chaos from your point of view?
I honestly don't know what happened. And you could see me, I was coasting through a Rouge. I didn't want to risk anything, pretty much. Because I felt like, I mean, maybe you saw me spin out in the quali?
Yeah, we have seen that. Or
Yeah, so I crashed
right after.
In the quali.
So, basically, it was... Have you spun? This is the question. On the race, of course, because of the qualifying we know.
No, I didn't spin, but I mean, you saw me, I missed the braking point into bus stop.
Okay.
And ran into someone, I don't know who that was, I'm sorry for that.
But it was...
Oh. Yeah, just horrible race, really, for me.
To be honest, you've still got that 1 experience point for ERO recruitment standings. There is still something. So, I must ask you about the Season 6. Let's forget about this race. Yeah. Let's now have fun and predict your divisions and your expectations for Season 6. In which division you think you will be? This is the question.
I don't know how many divisions are there.
Well, currently, there are still plenty of signups going in soon, but currently you're in F4. It looks like.
Okay.
But we don't know yet, and you have improved your time trials, so no more chances for you.
Yeah, no, I did that. Yeah, so I felt like I had decent pace compared to the rest of the field today. It was pretty much even. It felt like. Except there were one guy I think was a little bit faster. But then also I was lifting through Eau Rouge, so I lost a bit of time there every lap.
Now going to Liam, in which division you think you will be in season 6 and how will you go there? Like, how will you make your performance? If he can unmute himself, then we should be fine.
Sorry, is that a question for me?
Yeah, it was a question for you.
So I would say if I'm in F2 and the races are going like that, pretty good. But when I can turn up, who knows? It might be a different field. But after that, I'm pretty happy. That's all that matters, eh?
Yep, that's all that matters. Still can't quite believe what happened there, but it was chaotic race here in Eau Rouge. You can also say something else that I haven't asked you for in terms of this race or Euro Season 6. Because I'm out of ideas kinda, unless you champ have something.
Don't believe so.
Yeah, no, most like not. Anle? Other? Champ? Is that you? No, he's gone. So it looks like we're finishing this topic of the Belgian Grand Prix. All in debut drivers race. How do you press that conference, Mr. Trix? Just go on talking and I will move you to the F1 conference voice chat and just stay there or maybe unmute yourself. Just join the talking one and I will automatically move you. We still got a couple of minutes. Like, we've got plenty of time, but I have to check if there are any signups, let's be honest. PS4 5? There might be something. Because we are at 61 before the race started. Yep, still 61. No Mr. Tricks to be seen on the talking one. We'll just give him a minute. Okay. I think that should be it, to be honest. If he doesn't reply to me. Because we'll not be waiting for a long time. Well, I don't think we'll continue anymore for this live stream. Okay, Mr. Trix. We're ending the stream anyways very soon. So thank you for watching. Consider liking and subscribing if you haven't done it yet. Because that was hell of a race. We've got a bit of content, to be honest. Because of that. And that's it for today's PlayStation debut drivers race Belgian Grand Prix, including the conference. So thank you for watching, and we will see you. I don't know, to be honest, if I will do a recruitment results stream, whether it's the ERO channel or my personal Twitch channel, which I haven't done a stream yet for a long time. But still, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next streams. Goodbye.